Okay, so welcome back in the channel, and this time around we are going to be outside with Pocket 4K and Sony A7 III. Now your monitor is not broken. Was actually shot 5 stops over outdoors like some of you guys are requesting. Now I got rained on a little bit, so I didn't get to shoot much, so this is what I have for now. I am going to be doing some more testing later on when I get a little bit of daylight, but it's been raining here for quite a while. So what you're looking at are shots shot from S-Log2 and raw lossless from the Pocket 4K. Now the Rec 709 versions of these shots, I tried to match them as much as I can, but the S-Log, the Sony version, doesn't have raw, so getting it back down to the correct exposure is a little bit challenging. Now in the raw, and I'm going to show you guys this in the DaVinci Resolve, it's much easier to do everything else because it has that raw capability, so you can maneuver it quite a bit. Alright, now that you guys saw the footage in the Rec 709s, let's go dive in DaVinci Resolve 15. Alright guys, so here we are in DaVinci Resolve 15 with the shots that I just showed you guys. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of things that I noticed when editing these. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull up our waveforms here, and you can see that it's pretty freaking ridiculous. Now, a couple of things I noticed. First off, the DNG file on the Pocket 4K on the highlights, and this is a big problem with the Pocket 4K. You see this right here, it's just this nasty color at the very top end. You can see in the Sony A7 III as well, so both of them have that nasty color fringing, so it's not just the Pocket, but I noticed that right away. Alright, so the other thing that I'm going to talk about is the highlight recovery. Now this option, this button, is probably one of the things that separates the Pocket 4K from the rest of the pack. So a lot of the Blackmagic design cameras have this option, and this is probably one of the things that is making me keep this camera, right? So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this, and you're gonna see, so this was what was shot, right? You see that it's just on right here is pretty much clipped, but we're just clicking this highlight recovery. Look at that, you get all of that stuff back. And if I scroll down, I'm gonna show you this thing because this is pretty cool. I'm gonna click that again. You see this water right here, the puddle of water? There's no more information there, right? But if I click this, the reflections come back, right? That's really cool. Now if I go to the H.264, it's there too, right? The reflections are there. And if I go to the top part of this video, by the way, I had to pan down because the Pocket 4K, it was still too tight. It was at 50 mil, so with a 1.9 crop factor, it was quite a bit. It was pretty long. So compared to the Sony A7 III, which is a full frame, that's why I had to pan down on the Pocket 4K so you can see the sky. So here is the Sony A7 III's highlights here, and the highlights down here as well. So you can kind of see that here, there's still data there, but here's the Pocket 4K, here's the highlights, and then we're gonna scroll in, and here's the data on the puddle of water. So, like I said earlier, it was a little bit easier to work with the Pocket 4K because of the raw tab settings, and you can pretty much see that here in this window. I was able to drop the ISO down, drop the exposure down, and so on and so forth. So it was so easy to work with the raw file because of the camera raw tab settings. Now with S-Log2, you know, you're thinking of messing around with the wheels here and the log setting right here to just bring down the exposure. Alright, so don't forget to download the files and make sure you guys do them yourselves, and I'll see you guys later.